Hey, what is up, all my cool cats out there? I got a new little read-along storybook for you guys. Read-along that is from one of my favorite famous artists that I got here, Jean-Michel Basquiat. Favorite book of mine that I really was excited to get and have a copy of. This is Radiant Child by Javaka Steptoe. I always say it is a big deal because it has the little gold kind of coin on here. Open it up. Definitely love this inside cover. Gives a little story, a little uniqueness to it. Tells a little about Jean-Michel on the inside cover there. Has a cool picture of him right as you walk on. I love the artwork in this. It's very similar to Basquiat's style. A story of young artist Jean-Michel Basquiat. Somewhere in Brooklyn, between hearts that thump, double Dutch, and hopscotch, and salty mouths that slurp sweet ice, a little boy dreams of being a famous artist. In his house, you can tell a serious artist dwells, as he sits at a table with pencils scattered everywhere. Jean-Michel draws from morning until night with a serious face amid a storm of papers. He refuses to sleep until he has created a masterpiece. This kind of looks like my desk some days. At night, images enchant Jean-Michel's mind, and he wakes from his dreams to add one more line. His drawings are not neat or clean, nor does he color inside the lines. They are sloppy, ugly, sometimes weird, but somehow still beautiful. Definitely agree. His art comes from his mother, Matilda, a Puerto Rican woman who designs and sews, cooks and cleans, and makes this house look like a stylish magazine. But most important, she lies on the floor and draws with Jean-Michel on his father's old work of papers, all scattered out there. And that's always one of my favorite things to do, is kind of color on the floor with my kids. A little connection there. From her, he learns that art is not only in the poetry books she reads to him or in the theaters and museums they visit. Art is the street games of little children in our style and the words that we speak. It is how the messy patchwork of the city creates new meaning for ordinary things. Ooh, one of my favorite Picasso paintings there. While visiting the museum, they look at his favorite works of art, reading the story behind each artist, reading the story behind each work. This is how Jean-Michel learns what it means to be a famous artist. Another great picture here. Back at home, he creates art on the floor as his father, Gerard, plays jazz records. Mama Matilda cooks arroz con pollo, hopefully I said that right, and calls Jean-Michel mi amor. The energy and life of the city can be felt in each line of his drawings. As time goes by, Jean-Michel learns that his art has a healing power. After a car accident, he is scared and confused. Matilda gives him a book to calm his fears. It is filled with pictures of bones, skulls, and other body parts. Jean-Michel draws from it until he knows it all by heart. He is no longer afraid. So he kind of memorizes the book, and you can see some pictures develop in some of his artwork later. Back at home, Jean-Michel's body heals, but his heart breaks. His mother's mind is not well, and the family breaks. She no longer lies on the floor and draws with Jean-Michel, but sits by the window, singing only to birds. Jean-Michel is confused and filled with terrible blues when Matilda can no longer live at home. He tries drawing the terrible out of his blues but the things are not the same. As Jean-Michel grows older, he visits his mother when he can, always bringing his artwork to show, telling her that one day it will be in a museum when I am a famous artist. Almost looks like a Spider-Man picture down there. I like that one. A teenager now, Jean-Michel decides, Papa, I will be very, very famous one day. With a sly look, a twinkle in his eye, Jean-Michel leaves Brooklyn for New York City, the Lower East Side, a concrete jungle where only the tough survive. A saying in New York, only the tough and strong survive in New York City. During the day, dressed in a green jumpsuit splattered with paint, Jean-Michel stays with friends, sleeping on couches and floors, leaving a barrage of collages and poem-filled papers everywhere he goes. Still kind of has that clutter. At night, Jean-Michel spray paints the walls downtown with poems and drawings that catch the eye of artists, gallery goers, and passers-by. Under his artwork, he signs the name SAMO, copyright. Instead of Jean-Michel, everyone wants to know who is SAMO. SAMO moves from street corners to art gallery walls with powerful color composition and line, collaging and painting on anything he can find. His art is still not neat or clean, and definitely not inside the lines, but somehow it is still beautiful. With his magical charm, Jean-Michel draws a crowd, but when it's time to work, he prefers to be alone. With the radio and TV on full blast, now in expensive suits splattered with paint, he flips through stacks of magazines and opens books and points into the night and paints into the night and sometimes for days at a time, while sounds and images jump into his head. Kind of goes back and forth, joins a little bit on this one, then goes a little bit over here, then goes over here. So it kind of goes back and forth and creates a whole bunch of different masterpieces, as he would say. Definitely can see the little crown up there. Jean-Michel, an artist among artists, never doubts online, creating from the soundtrack that is his own. People describe him as a radiant, wild, genius child. But in his heart, he is king, so he draws the crowns himself that others admire. There's his little crown. Ooh, over here too. Look at all these people. A grown man now, with the art world at his hands, or in his hands, Jean-Michel still visits his mother when he can. And at his most important shows, above all the critics, fans, and artists he admires, the place of honor is his mother's, a queen on a throne. He is now a famous artist. Then in the back of the book, that's it. Then in the back of the book, it's got some more information. Kind of cool. It also tells some of the symbolism in a lot of his art, like the crown. That's one of the things that we talk about in my class. So really, really cool book. Talks a little bit about the author, and like I said, some of my favorite little pictures, almost like a wallpaper here. So really, really cool book. Definitely a little bit different. So thank you guys for viewing. As always, I am Mr. Shooty. This is Jean-Michel Basquiat, and we will talk to you guys later.